When a young mother's home birth ends in an unfathomable tragedy, she begins a year-long odyssey of mourning that fractures relationships with loved ones in this deeply personal story of a woman learning to live aside her loss. Hey, how's it going, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Movie Files. Elliot back again with a brand new Netflix review, and today we're talking about Pieces of a Woman, which did premiere at Tiff last year, but will be making its way to Netflix this Thursday on the 7th. I'm really excited to let you all know what I thought about this film, give you my score of the movie, let you know if it's all worth checking out in this spoiler-free review. But before we dive into it, as you can see on the screen now, make sure you all are following me on all my other social media accounts like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find all those links in the description below. If you are new to the channel, welcome to the community. Consider subscribing to the channel and hitting that notification bell. That way you can get the alert from when I drop new content. It would mean a lot to me if you all can like and share this video. It really helps out the channel, but I also appreciate all the support. And in the comments, again, this is an early movie review, so let me know, number one, if you were excited for this film, and once it comes out on Thursday, we got to discuss it. Let me know your pros, your cons, your thoughts of the story, the performances. Let's discuss it all in the comments below. So again, like I had mentioned, the film did premiere last year at TIFF. When I heard about it, I heard nothing but great things about the movie, the pacing, the story, and of course the performances, especially coming from Vanessa Kirby. So I was really looking forward to this film, and here we are discussing it, starting off with the positives. The opening, without getting into the details, again, spoiler-free review here, but we get this, minus this brief kind of introduction to our main characters, Martha, played by Vanessa Kirby, and you have Sean, played by Shia LaBeouf. We meet them. They're a young couple expecting their first kid, and minus that first 5-10 minutes, we are just thrust into this 20-25 minute, one take, emotional, heart-wrenching scene, uncomfortable scene of Martha giving birth. And once we get that scene, the film just never let me go. Jumping into this title, Pieces of a Woman, this film beautifully shows us Martha losing pieces of herself and her relationships being affected by what happens in this film. From the relationship with her partner Sean, to her mother, to her sister, to even herself, we're watching this emotional journey, and Vanessa Kirby, who we'll talk about here in a bit, just has this incredible arc of showing her tragedy at her lowest point of her life and seeing her rebuild the pieces of herself. And the film is just incredibly emotional, and it is emotionally draining as well, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But transitioning into the director here, Kornél Mundruczó, who's mostly known for independent projects that premiere at Cannes and also other international film festivals, this director truly allows his scenes to breathe. He allows you to sit with the characters in their emotion, the placement of the camera, the way that he has these long takes, these kind of one shots. I was beyond impressed by his direction. This was my first time watching a film with his, and I thought he was great, which also, speaking of great, the other production aspects of this movie, whether it be the film score, which was another excellent layer to this movie, whether it be the cinematography, essentially guides you through this emotional journey. The cinematography, the direction, the writing, all of it, it was just masterful filmmaking. Which, going into the performances here, we have a really good cast. There's a lot of smaller characters that don't really have a lot to do, but they do the best for what they're given, whether it be Martha's sister, whether it be her sister's boyfriend, played by Benny Safdie. I'm a big fan of the Safdie brothers. I did not know one of the brothers were going to be in this film. I thought he was really solid in the film. And then going into, another character, Sarah Snook, who I'm a big fan of Succession, seeing her as a lawyer, I thought she was great. Again, they weren't award-winning performances, but they fit perfectly in this narrative. But then the other supporting characters that really stood out to me was, for example, Martha's mother, played, Elizabeth. Seeing their fractured, complicated relationship just added more depth to the character Martha, seeing where she comes from, seeing how she was raised, seeing this kind of friction of the butting heads between the mother, telling Martha how she should handle this grieving process was a really great story. And then you have Shia LaBeouf, who plays Sean, who is Martha's partner in this film. And I thought Shia LaBeouf did a great job in the role. I do have some issues with the use of the character, which we'll talk a little bit about later. But in regards to the positives as this character, you're seeing him grieving. You're seeing him as a recovering addict, how this is affecting him. So I thought Shia LaBeouf was great. Again, separating the art from the artist. There's things going on outside of filmmaking that Shia LaBeouf's going through, but I thought his performance was great. But we got to talk about the MVP. We got to talk about the lead in the incredible performance by Vanessa Kirby. Right now, it's a three-way tie in regards to best female lead performance for me, whether it be this film with Vanessa Kirby, whether it be Viola Davis and Ma Rainey, and also Casey Mulligan and Promising Young Woman. All those women did an incredible job in their movies, and I wouldn't be mad if either one of those three women win the award. But going back to Vanessa Kirby's performance in this film, She was incredible. I'm so impressed by her because I've seen her being a badass character and having a great screen presence and great charisma, whether it be Mission Impossible Fallout, whether it be Hobbs and Shaw. She's a badass. She's really great. But seeing this other side of her as an actress was just, it completely blew me away. From her going into labor, her losing herself to grief, her facing the aftermath of a trial involving what happens in this film, she gives you everything in this role. Now, me personally, I can't imagine what Martha went through in this film and what women in real life go through and families go through, going through what, losing a child at birth. It's unimaginable, but something I really appreciated about this film was how they told the story of tackling grief and how you have your friends and family and your coworkers try to tell you how to grieve and try to say, I'm sorry for your loss, but what does that really mean? Do you know really what I'm going through? So I like the way the film kind of handles the grieving process and how people try to put their emotions and try to tell you how to act through this process. I thought that was really well handled. Going back to Vanessa Kirby's performance, it's the facial expressions. It's this invisible weight that the character carries around on her chest, and seeing her pain in her eyes, and just makes you truly feel what the character is going through. Again, Vanessa Kirby was just incredible in this movie. This film includes a lot of different details of things showing you what Martha's character is going through in her head, whether it be the subplot involving this building of a bridge, whether it be her attaching herself to apples, her picking up a new hobby. This was truly a journey for her character. It was her story, and you're seeing all the pieces of this woman, and it was incredible. Now, going into some of my criticisms, I mentioned in a couple minutes ago regarding Shia LaBeouf. Again, I thought his performance was great, but it's the way the film uses the character didn't really work for me entirely, meaning that, and I don't want to go into spoilers, but there's a subplot involving Sean and another particular character that I thought just didn't fit within this narrative, and if I'm being honest, I feel like it was unnecessary to have this kind of subplot that they implement with Sean's character and another character in this film. I also wish that we spent more time with Sean and Martha as a couple. Now, again, we're just thrust into the labor. We really don't see them as a couple, them, being where this foundation, this relationship, seeing their dynamic as a couple prior to them having this baby. So I wish we would have got more of that. And lastly, this film clocks in right around 2 hours and 5 minutes, which I never felt the film dragged on. I felt like it had really good pacing. But again, going back to Sean and his involvement of this other character involving his subplot, I wish we could have taken that out and maybe give us more scenes with Martha and Sean building their dynamic as a relationship and see them as a couple, whether it be Martha spending time with her mother, her sister, or even Martha spending more time with other mothers and other, women that go through this type of tragedy. So I wish we would have spent more time doing that versus some of the stuff that I didn't really think was necessary with the Sean character. So those are really all my criticisms. Before I give you all my overall thoughts and my score and let you know if it's worth checking out, if you haven't already, make sure to like this video, share this video, leave your thoughts in the comments, and of course, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss any of my other content. With that being said, let me share with you all my overall thoughts and my score for Pieces of a Woman. So overall, this was a film that truly earns its emotional response by displaying the journey of our character's loss. It's emotionally draining, but it kept me engaged throughout. This film does a great job displaying loss with so much authenticity and shows how others shouldn't tell you how to feel and how you should grieve. We get to see Martha's character in the happiest point of her life to the absolute lowest point of her life, and this film shows you how she has to take all the pieces of herself and rebuild her life. And the performance by Vanessa Kirby and seeing her character's art was something amazing to see. This film completely tore me to pieces, but I'm going to give Pieces of a Woman a 4.5 out of 5. Now, I will warn you all, it's an uncomfortable film at times. It's very painful to watch at times, but it is a great film, and it is a beautiful film as well. So I really recommend you all check it out. Now, I just made my top 10 Netflix movies. I just shot a video for that. I'll be coming out pretty soon, or it might even be on the channel right now. So I didn't see the film before I made this list, but also I saw it in 2021, so I don't really think it counts. But let's just say if this would have came out last year, this probably would have landed pretty high on my top 10 Netflix movies of 2020. But that's my thoughts of the film. I want to know what you all thought about it, so go ahead and leave your comments in the comment section. Once you see this film that comes out on Thursday, let me know your pros, your cons, your thoughts on the performances. What do you think about Vanessa Kirby? Do you think she is a front runner to win Best Lead Actress? Let's discuss it all in the comment section. Thank you all for watching this review. Again, make sure to like, share, comment below, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can get an alert from when I drop new videos. I have a lot of top 10 lists coming pretty soon. Right now, I have my top 10 Netflix series. I believe my top 10 Netflix movies is either out now or will be coming out pretty soon. And of course, I'll be sharing with you all my top 10 shows of the year overall, as well as my top 10 movies overall, and of course, my most anticipated movies of 2021. So thank you all again for watching this video. Hope you're staying safe, and we'll see you in the next video.